riding with my artist over here. Riding with my artist over here, going to see The Lion King, and
we're getting up behind him again.
So like we're driving, and again, this is post production. So we're driving, and we see this. Like,
praise to you, Yahweh God.
We're gonna have to go as fast as we can so this does not die.
You're right. So, welcome back to RJay Watches. Today we're gonna be reviewing The Lion King, which wasn't that bad. To be honest, The Lion King was frame for frame, shot for shot for the most part.
I mean, there are some parts that was added in, like as far as like to add a little bit to it. First off, before we go even further, spoiler warning. Always forget to mention that. If you're not. This is gonna be a spoiler for like everything. We're like gonna talk about things that you're gonna get so mad if we spoil it for you. I promise. Or like, I promise.
Trust me on that one. But for the most part, if you've seen the original Lion King movie, you already know what's gonna happen. You know, like what, 85% of the movie?
Pretty much. I mean, maybe even a good 90%. I mean, even like I said before, like the opening sequence is frame for frame. Circle of life. The only difference is the whole entire thing, and that's the one thing I really did like, is the fact that Rafiki didn't bring his staff out until the end.
He did
fight, and he's like, "Hello, my old friend," and I'm just like, "Oh my god, yes!"
And so, like, that's the thing. Like, you go into the movie, you're really gonna go in with You're really gonna go into this movie with nostalgia goggles, because you're like, all right, I grew up watching this when I was a kid, and
I've seen it like 1,000 times. I almost know everything word for word.
Right.
And practically I did know everything word for word.
And practically I sung like every song horribly, but I did. There was no footage of this, thank God.
Let's not forget our favorite part, that during the Mufasa death scene, we actually did have a little kid cry in the front. I pledge to you, little child, you're going to grow up to be very well, very good. All right. If you didn't cry during that scene, I even teared up, despite the fact that I know it's not like, it's live action, and the way that it looks still, I felt it.
Also, pause. We'll put this on charge.
Well, yeah.
Because I'm just looking.
We're gonna
honestly, we are on our way to go see The Lion King. Shouts out. We're on our way to go see The Lion King. This is post production for the movie review that we are doing. Also, hold on, wait.
We better go.
We're going.
We have a picture. We'll show it. I think. Well, okay.
We'll show it at some point. Like, riding with my artist over here. Riding with my artist over here, going to see The Lion King, and
we're getting up behind him again.
So like we're driving, and again, this is post production. So we're driving, and we see this. Like,
praise to you, Yahweh God. Let's get that too close. I'm sorry.
You know what? When a man or a woman loves their Yahweh,
it could be a woman. She could be like, the ultimate shipping queen. You don't know.
It's true, but at the same time, it's just, when you find your fellow weeb person, you just gotta appreciate the license plate that is that. You have to appreciate it, and we appreciate it. But we're gonna get back to this movie review.
Go forth, majestic Yahweh God.
Okay,
we've changed locations, yes, you've noticed. We had to stop for a second.
True. And so after seeing, again, the most beautiful thing ever in a theater, hearing a kid cry, it was kinda like this. So, Yeah, it was kind of like that, and to be honest, I looked over and I was like, you know what? This is the most proudest moment ever. I actually tweeted it out. Here's the tweet.
Yeah, that kid, she's gonna grow.
You have learned the pain of Disney movies. One of them, by the way. Not all of them, but just one. But all in all, what they did with the movie was literally what you would expect. They literally took the original one and just made it
Live action.
quite literally. That's all they did with it.
Now, if you're going in expecting that, like with, especially like, I Can't Wait to Be King and like Hakuna Matata, if you're expecting like these major productions of like ultimate color flying everywhere and the animals all dancing and going along with it. I mean, they do go along with it, but like it's not there.
And somehow
And I'm okay with that.
And somehow they all stack on top of each other for one
One song sequence.
hurrah. Like that doesn't happen, but
I'm okay with it. Are you okay with it?
I'm okay with it though.
I like it because it's like it's following the live action theme of like it's actual animals. It's not, you know, a major production.
Right. It's not something where they have to be like, okay, let's CGI every animal on top of every other animal. It's not that. It's more like, all right, if they were actually doing this, how would they naturally react?
And they did, and it's funny because like I love it because the majority of like the little babies, if you notice, it was mostly just the children animals that were going along with it. So.
It's just like, all right, this is cool. And so we get to the elephant graveyard where, if you're looking for it to be like the cartoon again with the mammoth head, this is one of the changes they took out where they weren't like.
Well, it wasn't really a mammoth; it was an elephant. So
they weren't
it's
like
just huge
in an elephant's head or anything, but they were there.
I mean, it's an elephant graveyard, and they were going to a place where they're not supposed to go to. I mean, that's what it follows along the lines of that thing. I mean, Simba's wanting to prove that he can be brave. I just want to be brave, just like you.
Can we just take a moment?
Flashback to Spider-Man. Flashback to original cartoon.
Can we all just take a moment and realize just how cute Simba and Nala both were in this movie? And Zazu even pointed that out at one point. He's during the I Can't Wait to Be King sequence. He's like, "Have you seen a small lion? He's cute." I'm just like, you know what?
I mean, he
props. He was. So props. And what else? So we get to the elephant graveyard, and then
I mean, you go through the whole entire thing because after the elephant graveyard, Mufasa comes and saves them. Which I love that they're sticking to, at least with that aspect, they're sticking to like actual behavior, animal behaviors. That's one thing that I like, is because they're sticking to it, because like I believe, if I've heard correctly, the lead person, or not, the lead animal in the pack of like hyenas is the female. I mean, they are known to be more tougher.
Yeah, true.
And with Shinzi, she leads the pack. She leads it's her pack, and you can tell because she is the one that's just like, she holds that power, and everybody's just like, oh hey, it's Shinzi.
Right.
It's Big Mama. Let's not mess with her.
True. Even
I will say I do love
the hyenas.
I loved Ed, and I want to say Ed's Banzai.
Yeah, that's it. Ed Banzai. Yeah.
I love them because it's always just like, you're a little too close, and then it's like
walks away, and then comes back again.
It comes back, and it's just like, no, you're just doing it on purpose.
Like, they added very little nuances to kind of give the scene more life. Every scene, honestly, in the movie, which, let me say this, I can understand where people are coming from, that it wasn't like complete nostalgia, but
it's not complete nostalgia. This does not appear.
No, that does not. However, though,
Although I do like the fact that they took out the like I was saying before, how they took out the cannon, the head cannon.
yeah,
Well, it's not really a head cannon. It was more on the lines of, it was in books after the first Lion King movie came out. They showed how Scar got his scar, but in this movie, they're like, no, we're not gonna allow those books to happen. Is that a challenge, Scar? No, I wouldn't dare challenge you again.
and I'm just like, okay, that's where he got his scarf from, I guess. So, moving on. So after the whole elephant graveyard and
saving them, doing the whole entire thing, which is also another thing, like I said, that how they're sticking to that whole entire animal behaviors.
Yeah.
Of, like, it's been shown that even the male lions, when a cub is playing with them and like they tackle them or something and they're playing around with the lions, they act like they're wounded, like they fall down, like they don't, like, obviously this cub cannot push a
full
big lion
but
down, and we just
lost light.
there we go.
Hey.
Okay. But they just fall down because they, it's encouraging to them so they
Yeah.
can hunt better and
Yeah.
stuff. And I like that they did that with Mufasa as well,
true.
because he, like, if you notice, every time Simba went to go play with him and like jumped on him and stuff like that, he was like, oh yeah, he fell down, and
Much like all best dads would do, so let's be honest. So you get through all that, and then you get to the gorge. And in the gorge scene, you see something a little bit different. It plays out exactly like it did in the movie. However, they added one little nuance where they were like, hey, Simba, you could, like, work on your roar.
yeah, Scar even, like, points out, he's just like, yeah, this is where all the lions come and practice their roars. Our father stayed here until he perfected his, that kind of ordeal. So it's to give him inspiration to stay here and work on his roar.
Which is a lot more interesting than, like, it's like,
Just
you know,
sit
your dad,
right
just
here
sit here, right?
Until I return with your dad.
Which we all know never happened, but still.
In a way, he did. I mean, even both times, because he goes and he gets Mufasa and he's like, Mufasa, it's Simba. He's in the gorge. There's a stampede in the gorge. Simba's down there, and it's like, Simba. Of course. In the movie, in the cartoon, you see the horror in Mufasa's face of like,
Right.
oh my God. This one's like, Simba, what is he doing down there?
Why are you here?
And like he's even like that walking, like, what are you doing down there?
I kind of chuckled a lot though. Low-key, I chuckled very softly, but inside I was screaming laughing because, again, Mufasa had this look of, Simba, why are you here? Like, you should be home. Why are you even here? But as we know, the story happens, and again, yes, for all of those who've seen the movie, yes, you do have to watch Mufasa die in real life. So,
I mean, we were all prepared for it to go into it, to see it.
true.
So.
Like, get your
Although
ready.
I do love it of long live the king, and it's not just let go, it's wow.
Right.
He gets hit. It's not, it's like, I'm not gonna just like let go, because you're gonna obviously still hold on, so it's like whack, I'm gonna make sure you're there.
Of course. And like he falls to his death, and I'm sorry, but the way that they added he was like, Dad, get up, we have to go. And I'm
Does, like, even with Jonathan Taylor Thomas, I mean, they both sounded like they were about to cry, and then that's the point. And just, I did tear up.
that new scene hurt me more than it should have. I literally had to wipe tears out of my eyes.
I did tear up during that. I also teared up during the Remember Me part.
Oh right! Oh my God!
Because he was like, Dad, don't leave me. And he's like, I never have. I've always been here. And I'm just like,
Dad, don't leave me. I never have, and I never will. I was like, oh no!
oh my God.
I literally almost looked at Raven and went, can we just leave right now? Like,
I don't know. We have to see it. Okay, and then just just continuing with that is just everything after that was pretty. Madame Charlotte.
okay, no.
That was awesome.
Okay, so like we're gonna be fast forwarding it a little bit.
Well, we got because we're like running out of time here.
True, but one of my favorite all-time scenes was when
Disney is a parent of Disney.
Yes. So like
when it acknowledges itself.
Yes. So like you go through the whole thing of like, can you feel the love tonight? Which that was a good scene. All of it was. Seth Rogen was the perfect Pumbaa, hands down.
Oh
Let's
yeah.
just be real.
Definitely.
Seth Rogen was.
We're gonna name him Fred. Okay.
But the best scene to me, one of them belongs to Zazu, when they were like live bait, and they were like, wait, why is everybody looking at me? We should have someone plump and juicy, and everyone's looking at him like, you are the bait, and he's just like, wait, why is everybody looking at me? What? And so
You said Zazu. Are you sure you're not referring to Pumbaa here?
no, I'm referring to Pumbaa, but talking about Zazu, I'm giving context because Zazu, when they show him again, he's like, ladies and gentlemen.
No, that was
That was Zazu on
It's
top
not
of
Zazu.
Pumbaa.
Zazu's the bird.
Yeah, but he was on top of Pumbaa.
No, he wasn't. It wasn't Zazu. It was Timon.
No, Timon. Oh, Timon was talking about him being like bait. But I'm talking about with Timon.
Timon and Pumbaa were the ones that were being the bait because
Right.
Timon, like Zazu, stayed with Nala and Simba.
Right.
So Timon was on top of Pumbaa, and he starts the whole speech for Be Our Guest. And before they even get to Be Our Guest is the when they didn't even get to sing it. They just did the speech,
They just said,
and then they had to run away.
I had to applaud Disney for that because I'm like, when you recognize your own movie, and I think it was the same.
When you become self-aware. No.
Oh man, that would have been even more perfect if it was.
No, that would have been funny though.
Oh, that would have been so perfect.
No, the only original voice actor that we have here was, as far as I know, is James Earl Jones.
Yeah, he was the only original. Which they couldn't have done this movie without his voice. It's
Oh no,
too
and we
iconic.
thank you, James Earl Jones, for being perfectly healthy enough to stay along for that.
Thank you, please. Like,
And being like the good God that you are. He keeps calling you Jesus, but I call you God. I know Morgan Freeman's also God, but he takes many forms.
let's also be real here at the fact that when Mufasa first shows up in this movie, it's literally like a white light, and you're like, just Jesus? Oh, no.
No, that's not. It's his second scene that he comes in, because this first scene he's on top of Pride Rock, but that's still like that's his pedestal. I mean, that's him.
Right,
That's him there.
right.
The second time he comes in when he's being announced, and then suddenly there's a bright light behind him, and you're just like, it's God.
This is true.
Even brave as a lion. We're making Narnia references here because
True.
Aslan, but
Same.
off topic. That's something different. We're not good.
Off topic. Getting back to the rest of the video. So yeah, again, like the scene where Simba comes to face with like himself. He literally is. You get to the scene where he's like, "Remember who you are," and that scene is incredibly beautiful.
It is, and I love it because, like, in the past, like with the cartoon, you have I love the animation that went with it, because it's like the clouds are forming, the shape, and like they're even like, if you notice, like it's even going like around him, like as like his thing for in the animation for that. But in this live action, I love how realistic they're keeping it, because you don't really see him except for every time lightning strikes.
Right.
You see eyes, the nose and mouth.
Right.
You don't see anything, but you hear his voice, and it's moving. Speaking of sound, by the way, because I love that they did this, and I might have to watch it again just to make sure everything was appropriate this time. The whole entire time you hear Scar, and a little bit Mufasa, you hear a little bit of growl.
Yeah,
like
you do.
from the lions themselves.
You do.
And with Simba, you don't really hear that. Like, even when he's grown up, you don't really hear that until he tells Scar to run away.
True.
It's not just like him saying run away. It was run, and he had the growl behind him. and it was just that mwah. I love that attention to detail.
And even getting like down to that, he runs back. The song that they picked to go along with him running back actually fit.
I think Beyonce actually created it for that scene.
She did, yeah. And so if it, again, I see where everybody's having the problems with it, but I maybe it's just nostalgia talking, but I can't go along the side with everyone's like, oh god, this is like a horrible thing.
It's really not. It's okay. Like, it's not too bad. I've seen worse.
True. Oh, sorry. Continuing. Oh god.
Look, we're not talking about the B movie here. I will say, since we're getting towards the end of it, the fight scene between Scar and Simba, despite the fact that it was short, I still felt power behind it.
I really wish it was like maybe 2 minutes longer and it would have been.
In the cartoon, you just have them basically punching each other. With this, you actually see them actually struggling to fight each other. And each time they did hit each other or even hit the ground, you felt it. You heard and felt it.
Like, you felt like one of them, because it wasn't a clear winner like it was in the animated movie.
I mean, in the animated movie, it was still, like, logically speaking, it still wasn't a clear winner, because Scar might have been a little on the weakish side, but Simba also had been growing up on grubs and stuff like that. So, and he other than probably jumping and running, he hasn't really practiced hunting since he was a cub.
Right.
And even with this one, I mean, he did have at least some experience of, like, scaring things, because, like, granted, I knew that the Nala one was coming up, and I didn't, like, I think I looked away for 2 seconds, and that's the reason why I slightly jumped when she came out, because I even knew about it.
I knew it was happening, and I still jumped.
But I jumped at Simba because, like, you didn't know whether if it was going to be Nala or Simba.
Right.
Like, I knew, I listened to the soundtrack beforehand. I should have known that it was going to be Simba, but, like, he came out of nowhere to attack butterflies.
Yeah.
The gazelle or the antelope, it was the antelope.
Antelope, yeah.
The antelope was just like, oh, hi.
And even,
it's just you.
And even most of the animals was like, don't eat us, please! Don't eat us!
And that's what Timon and Pumbaa trained them the whole entire time not to do.
And so, like,
I still think the animals needed some convincing, even with him grown up.
True, because the antelope probably looked real fucking good right about now.
He probably looked good. And but the thing is, it's also like, you know, like I said, he was attacking butterflies.
True.
I mean, I'm surprised he hadn't gone vegan by the end of the thing. So all in all, though, like, real talk, like, the fight happened. The ending scene with Scar dying actually gave him more. Scar was a lot more vindictive and a lot more tactical this time around. It wasn't just Disney villain, sake of evil, rawr. Yeah, like they gave purpose to everything. And whereas my complaint with Aladdin, Jafar, we knew he was the villain. Yeah, we saw him do some bad things, and yeah, they gave a little context with him and stuff. However, he wasn't as threatening. Scar, in here, you felt him. You knew he was dangerous the whole entire time.
You did.
You felt it, like, even the way how he spoke, how his composure was and everything. It's just, I would be, you know, that's the reason why Scar is my favorite. He's like my top favorite villain to begin with. So I might have been biased, but the thing is,
I was hella biased. But thanks.
I might have been biased, but but even then, I try to go in with the mind of,
let's give this a chance.
I'm not going to fully judge beforehand. Even I was a little worried when seeing some of the stuff, but now I saw it, and it's not that bad.
True. So, all in all, what do we rate this? Like 6 Rizzies? What are we giving it? 10? Perfect. What do we give this?
I think legging made Paw Prince out of 10.
7 or 8 paw prints out of 10. All right. With that, we'll be getting out of here. We'll catch you guys in the next movie review. We still got to work on Aladdin, but we'll catch you guys in the next movie review. And until then, stay gold.